Battlefield 2042 Review, Back to the Future. More than almost any other first-person shooter franchise, Battlefield knows exactly what it does well. DICE has been tiptoeing around the subject for a few entries and over a decade at this point, but it's no secret that Battlefield is a multiplayer-first, large-scale experience whose greatest asset is its scope. For the first time in franchise history, Battlefield 2042 jettisons the campaign mode and focuses solely on the multiplayer, and the results are exactly what you'd expect from a multiplayer-only Battlefield game. Despite having only 7 maps and 2 native game modes, there's enough content to last for hours on end due to the mind-blowing scale and versatility of each map, even before factoring in the theoretically infinite content in Battlefield Portal. However, as is ritual with the launch of a new Battlefield, a slew of issues from bugs to balancing make this feel like a work in progress. While the potential of any given match in Battlefield 2042 is sky high, and Portal is a potential long-term start, the ability to reach that potential is ultimately more up to the mercy of the game than anything else. With DICE foregoing any single-player mode this year, Battlefield 2042 is a much more focused experience, though there's certainly some context thrown your way. The world is on the verge of collapsing in on itself as climate change and other factors destroy the economy and beget global warfare. As frightening and engaging as that premise seems, given that 2042 is just a couple decades away in real time, the game doesn't really go anywhere with it. Instead, you're dropped into a menu with 3 options for 3 different multiplayer modes: All Out Warfare, Hazard Zone, and Battlefield Portal. It's a much more limited set of options to funnel everyone into the same spots in lieu of trying to appease everyone, which I appreciate given the massive 128-person matches of Conquest or Breakthrough that would start to get sparse if there were many more game modes vying for your attention. As is ritual with the launch of a new Battlefield, a slew of issues from bugs to balancing make this feel like a work in progress. While the potential of any given match in Battlefield 2042 is sky high, and Portal is a potential long-term start, the ability to reach that potential is ultimately more up to the mercy of the game than anything else. The more focused nature of the game entails a much larger scope within each mode, and this comes first and foremost with the new maps. Despite having only 7 new ones in 2042, it never feels like you're retreading familiar ground, particularly due to their sheer size. They all have to accommodate up to 128 players in the largest modes while keeping the traditional slower, more tactical pace of gameplay, so each of them is not only massive but impressively diverse. Every bit of the maps is really a showcase of the attention to detail and technical prowess that DICE has been building toward for years with multiple entries, and they lay wonderful groundwork for the rest of the game to build on. Compared to many of its contemporaries, Battlefield has always had a much stronger focus on squad and team efforts, and 2042 leans somewhat into that. Of course, you can spawn in on squad mates and communicate by pinging an objective, but DICE has given some more credence to team playing through the new specialists. Rather than having you choose one of 4 generic classes, each of the 10 specialists fall into one of those categories but have their own special skills and traits, so while it's best for your team to cover all of its bases, it's a bit deeper this time around. I prefer an assault class, so I played primarily as Makai, who has an immensely fun grapple gun that allows you to get around more nimbly. Other specialists provide benefits to their primary class, like a recon sniper scanning for distant enemies or an engineer that can deploy portable cover. But while the specialists can be very helpful for your team if you coordinate them, it's more common that you choose the special skill you like and your playstyle independently, since the specialist's primary class doesn't limit your loadout options. It's great to have the freedom to play how you want with whichever specialist you like best, but for the sake of teamwork, I felt like my teammates rarely had the fortitude to stick to their specialist's strengths rather than play with their favorite guns regardless. The native game modes come in one of 2 flavors. The first, All Out Warfare, is broken into Conquest, the classic objective capturing soiree, and Breakthrough, a rush-esque battle of attackers pushing to take a series of sectors from defenders. Regardless of the modes, one thing that consistently holds this game back is its general lack of polish and balance at launch. Regardless of the modes, one thing that consistently holds this game back is its general lack of polish and balance at launch. Of course, it's expected that you'll find a few bugs here and there, and most of them are harmless or even humorous character model issues or menu disappearances that sort themselves out quickly. Others, though, like ones that forced me out of matches, are harder to forgive, and I seem to run into them unexpectedly often. On the balance side, things can get trickier, especially when the game loses itself trying to manage having over 100 total players. It's not uncommon to spawn directly into an enemy's line of fire or into an already burning vehicle. killing you almost instantly. It's also not unheard of to be killed by an enemy who you've already pumped seemingly at full clip into. It's moments like these that test my patience with the experience, where you feel less in control of your own destiny than you are at the mercy of the game's decisions, and the moments where everything falls correctly into place are almost reliefs rather than central experiences, though I hope over time these issues can be ironed out. There's a lot of potential with Battlefield 2042 on the ground level.